Welcome, Knicks fans, to another edition of Knicks Dreams. Welcome you, Mr. Bill Sadamas, to the panel. Some of our
Mhm.
guys had to cut out last minute. They're going to join the team in the garden and cheer them on, and hopefully we pull a win out of this. To get started, we're basically going to talk about this little Bayou battle that we had against New Orleans. Another decent game. Depending how you look at it. Early season, we're still trying to get off form, and a lot of times we're running into these quarters and we're getting to an early jump out, and then the other team plays themselves back in, and we struggle to close out quarters. But we'll get into that a little bit more. At this moment, I'd like to pass it off to ESQ behind the back. Go ahead.
Esquire at your service.
Yes, sir.
Listen, man, that game the other night, we did what we were supposed to do. Your stepbrother stepped up.
Yes, sir.
Your stepbrother dropped, what, 35, 36,
35, yeah, yeah.
35. The backcourt had 19 apiece, the starting backcourt.
Yes, sir.
U-Haul, he was playing within himself. He only dropped, like, I think 10 points.
Yeah.
But we still got the game, and we got the game, decisively. We just got to keep building. Tonight at the Garden, we're going to see a different team. However, I want to talk a little bit about, what you call that, the battle in the Bayou that we had. Of course, they were not with their star wasn't there.
Yeah.
And too bad.
Very true.
Too bad.
Too bad.
I actually saw him. I saw on my, I think it was on my Google feed or whatever. That dude, he looked like he done put back on that weight that he took off last year. He looks like he's back up to 300 pounds again.
He's about to go play offensive lineman for the Saints.
Yeah, man. We can use him tonight against the Kansas City Chiefs.
There you go. Hilarious.
we can use him tonight on he can protect Jones on that offensive line.
Yeah. We'll need him all the time.
But they did well with what they had. They have a young team, so they were able to run and do certain things. But we were able to keep them under control with a steady offense. Like I said, led by RJ. RJ's game, he's picking it up. His first 2 to 3 games wasn't as good, but he's had back-to-back good scoring nights. And right now, we're looking good. So how'd you feel about that performance the other night?
I felt pretty good about it. Like you said, another young team. I guess what I'm starting to notice and come to grips with about this year's teams, even though they're young, these guys, man, they're chomping at the bit to get out there and show that they could play in the league. So even though they're inexperienced, they're coming against us, teams that, pretty much have some veterans and are going in a certain direction. Even if they're young teams that are losing all the time, they're coming out with that effort, man. They're not trying to get blown out by 20, even if they start down by 10, So it's good to see that from the league in general. Now, as far as our boys go, I think the game ultimately came down to what our strategy is going into the season, and that's to shoot more 3-pointers. The more we put up, the more we make. And I think during the telecast, they talked about we went into this game number 1 in the league in shooting and attempts and makes. So that's pretty good. We're number 2 as far as field goal percentage from 3-point land, which is pretty good.
Right.
I think we're rocking out somewhere like in the 40% range or something like that. Man, that's pretty crazy, And that game particularly, we got 19 of 33 for almost 60% from the 3-point line. So I mean, what else could you ask for as far as that goes? Now, as far as the defense goes, we would like to see it locked down a little bit more. It seems like we play defense for like 75% of each quarter, and then that 25% we let the team come charging back, and then it's like role reversal from last year. So last year we were the team getting down 10 and 15 points, and then making our charging all the way back and winning some of those games and losing some of those games. But the entire time I felt like that's what we were doing. We were always chasing. Now we're being chased down to the end, almost at end of each quarter, end of each game, that kind of thing. So it's good to see that even though we haven't figured that out yet, we are still winning in this transition of style of play kind of deal. Outside of that, I thought Randall did okay. I give it, mostly this game just goes straight to Barrett. We get this to Barrett. This by far easily was his best game as a Knick, and in the league in general, right? So I mean, he showed everything. Passing, because even when he was driving and got his shot taken away, he made the right pass on time and in position for the other person to go score. It wasn't like a wild pass or anything like that. So he did that a lot. A couple of little mistakes here and there. Outside of that, I wouldn't kill him at all because, man, if he's going to start to look like that, if he's going to take that kind of jump, production wise, that means he's going to do what Randall did last year. Come out, make the jump to potential All-Star level. That would be nice to see come out of him because now he has the surrounding players around him where he can take advantage of that. Now we need to see if this going to be consistent or is he going to do what we did last year? Is this the 9 or the question mark where he brings out the Riddler the next game? So outside of that, I'll throw it back to you cross court. Go ahead, my man. Take it away.
I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna fake the no look and go up with the lefty layup.
Nice.
For the quick bucket. I agree. He's looking as though you can see the evidence of certain things that he worked on. You can tell he worked on the J because he's hitting it more consistently now. And in that last game, he didn't force it. Mm-hmm. He took the J's when they were there, but there were certain times where instead of taking the J, he just went to the hole. And that's what we want him to do. Think going to the hole first. And that'll open up wide open jumpers for you because if they're anticipating, the defense is anticipating you going to the hole, gonna back up off you.
Very
and
true.
Then you had Julius, who, like he said at the beginning of a game, I want to say 2 to 3 games ago, where he said that he had his problem in last year's playoffs was that he was trying to do too much, and he should have trusted his teammates more. He's showing that trust in the teammates more, especially. I think that the Eiffel Shower is his new Bullock.
Yes.
He likes pick and popping with him.
Yeah.
And he likes to give. It seems like he likes to give him the ball just as much as he'll give it to RJ. So that's good
because he understands floor spacing. That's because he's a smart player. He doesn't bog up any area. If he sees Randall going one spot, he knows he's moving to get into that. Especially if he's tossing him the passes.
Yeah, and I really like him, man. I really like Fournier and Kemba, man. I'm really happy with the way things have started up, and I understand the summer league that was for the youngsters to get most of the run and do what they need to do. And then in the preseason, Tibbs had them on regular season mode in the preseason. And these are the fruits of it now. We're 5-1.
Yeah.
We have, one of the best starts in the East. We're tied with somebody, I think, at the top of the Eastern Conference. Washington, right. And fortunately, we have games on our schedule that we should win, and we're winning them. With the exception of that blip in Orlando, or was that at home?
So look,
came to the Garden.
Yeah, no, that was in the Garden that they came down.
Yeah, so with the exception of that game, I've been very pleased with our effort and execution so far. Mitch is rounding into play. Taj Gibson, man, that dude is he's awesome. I am so glad that dude is on the Knicks team, man. That guy, because he leads by example, and he's still got some game left in him.
Yeah,
he's 35, 36, whatever.
Score, man.
He's still got game left in him.
Absolutely.
Okay, so with that, shoot it back over to you. Anything that you observed that I may have missed?
I'm a hockey passer across because we had Prodigy drop it. So go ahead, bro.
Swear, I can shoot it from way downtown. Slow. The game against the Pelicans, I'm very happy we won the game, but at the same time, we just got to be consistent in the fourth quarter. The first 3 quarters, RJ was phenomenal the whole game. RJ attacking the rim, 3 ball was falling. He saved us down the stretch. Because remember, the Pelicans were down by what? 16, then they put within 2,
Right.
and I'm like, here we go again. But RJ Barrett really saved the bacon with 2 big threes and the pick and roll assist to Taj for the dunk, and that was big for us to win that game. I mean, even though Julius Randle hasn't really played amazing, it's still kind of early. I think he'll pick it up. The thing I love about Randle, he's trusting his teammates more. Kemba Walker has been red hot for 3 of the past few games. Evan Fournier, I know Evan Fournier has struggled as of late, but I think he'll be fine. Our bench played well. I mean, Taj Gibson was big on Saturday night. So we have a team that has a lot of depth. Is this sustainable as far as being the top 4 seed in the East? I don't know. Because here's the thing. When you look at the standings right now, I mean, the Knicks are number 1. I don't think that's sustainable. The Wizards are number 2. That's not sustainable. The Bulls are number 3. That's not sustainable. The Heat are number 4, maybe. You have the Bucks and the Hawks out of the playoffs. Obviously, that's going to change, though. I mean, let me keep going. You got the Nets number 8. That's going to change. The Raptors number 7. That's going to change. The Sixers number 6, 50-50, and the Hornets number 5. That's going to change. So some of these teams, it's like I already know that they're going to drop out at some point, but other teams I know are going to pick it up. So for the Knicks, man, do I think we're for real? I think it's too early to say that. I got to see what this team's at by Christmas time. I do believe we will make the playoffs. I believe that we have enough talent to get there. As far as us being a top 4 seed in the East, let me see what this team does by Christmas time. I can't just say we're going to be top 4 right now because it's only, 6 games into the season? Every team, sometimes teams start off hot and cool off. Look at the Wizards. They're 5-1 for Pete's sake. Are they going to keep this up? Probably not. So it's like the Knicks are a good team, but I cannot say we're for real just yet. And with that, I'm going to do a alley-oop to my man, Dream.
Appreciate it. And I'll catch it and Dominique this through the legs and rock this sucker for you. I may even swing around a little bit. So I agree. As far as sustainability, number 1 seed, obviously I don't think anybody really is projecting that far out that the Knicks can carry this all the way through the entire season, you know? But as far as being top 4, that in itself is tricky. I agree. I personally, after going through the entire season schedule, I have them finishing 5th, right behind Miami, who is number 4, you know? And then I have Atlanta sliding down to 6. And the top seeds, I still have the same Philadelphia, Brooklyn, and Milwaukee working that out somehow, the top 3, however they shake out. So that currently. So their style is different. The Knicks, going back to the Knicks, the Knicks style is different this year than it is last year because they added that shooting and you know, through the draft, they solidified the team a little bit. So adding, they came out, their plan was to try to shoot 35 to 43s a game. They obviously are doing that. And it obviously is right now producing for us because Kemba's on a hot roll and everybody else seems to be following a little bit here and there. You know, we still have some shooters that I haven't even gotten hot yet. I'm waiting for my man Burks to start firing off because he's getting open shots all over the place. So it's nice to see that. So I'm assuming that at some point that's going to start falling for him too, you know, and quickly the same thing. Like they'll start getting back to their normal rhythm. You know, overall, I think people are still not used to the fact that now we come to the game with shooting added to our defense. You know, I think they're being overwhelmed by that. Like I was saying earlier in the podcast, like last year, other teams were getting up on us 10 points in the first quarter and we were chasing them down all game. Now it's the opposite. We're getting up 10 points and somebody's chasing us down. And so we have to get used to that too. Like somebody's constantly trying to get at us, especially the last, 2 minutes of every quarter, right? That's where we seem to lax off a little bit. We get this nice lead because basically in that last game, I think we had a minimum of a 10-point lead in all the quarters, each quarter, right? But they just kept bringing that right back. Every time we stretched it out, they came right back. And they almost got us in the end, but we are hanging on just long enough to win these games. So that's a good thing, you know? And that was it. You know, outside of that, like I said, closing out those quarters, I would like to see them for the last 2 years. They've been doing these jump passes. And after a while, they start to get annoying. Like somebody's always in the air getting stuck, it looks like, and then kind of like bailing out a pass that sometimes works and sometimes it doesn't. It turns into a nasty turnover. And speaking of those turnovers, we had 12 of them. Now, the only good thing is that in that last 5 minutes of that game, we didn't have any turnovers. They locked it down as far as ball control. The other team was still getting hot, but at least we wasn't giving them the ball. They were just getting the ball off of missed shots and taking it the other way. But aside from that, I would like to get us back to scoring more fast break points. We only had 6 last game, and we gave up 24 to that young team. Even that out just a little bit more, make the team easier to win down the stretch. We are doing good things. I'm happy about it. I don't have too many complaints, aside from little things here and there. But that being said, it's been a great watch so far this season, and they're 5-1 right now. I had them being 5-1 in the first 6 games, and the next 6 games I got them going 3-3 because we're gonna play Milwaukee twice, and I got them taking a loss actually tonight. So if they can prove me wrong, even better for them. I got them losing tonight, because this is like one of those random Orlando games to me, where I think Toronto actually has a decent team that matches up well against us. The forwards and their guards like to penetrate and shoot. So not that I feel like Toronto's a better team. I just think like they're gonna get us tonight for some reason. I don't know. It's just my gut. But we can all pick out scores and stuff like that towards the end of the game. That being said, I don't want to take up too much, Mike. I will swing it around and toss it to my man, Nostradamus. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you for that. I'll take it and I'll shoot myself for 3-2. Tibbs told me to shoot it when I'm open, and that's what I'm gonna do.
That's what you're there for.
Take it from downtown, all net. Okay. I agree with you with regard to how we've been playing. We've been keeping that intensity up, and the roles have changed from last year, whereas we're the front runners and then the other teams are fighting back. However, one thing that I do not, if I can nitpick one thing that we're not doing well, is when we're up and the other team is making that comeback, we tend to get a little sloppy.
True.
We get very sloppy with the ball. We have consecutive turnovers, and silly turnovers too. Like, guy will take it out and dribble it off his ankle, and those type of. We can't have those type of turnovers.
Yeah,
we have to lock down and concentrate, and do what got us those big leads in the first place, and not sit on that and just feel that we can turn it back on once these other teams come back, because that doesn't always work. As we saw against Atlanta, that does not always work for us. And we're a young team, but there are teams out there that are younger, and what they're going to do, like you said earlier, Dream, they're going to show that they belong here. So I see other teams feeling, okay, it's the Knicks, we can run them. We can run those guys out because they've changed the way they play. I think they feel that we play a strictly half-court game where we're just shooting up a lot of more threes now. However, I see us as being a team that we run when we can and when there's opportunity.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll be that half-court, strong defensive playing, shooting more three team. That's how I see us developing. So we just gotta, sharpen our skill when it comes to holding on to the ball and holding on to leads. So other than that, I'm very happy. I'm pleased. So with that being said, I'll throw between the legs of the defender, pass over to my man G Money.
Nice. And I'm gonna finish around the rim, and I'm gonna spin around. Let me see.
You can finish this up and then transition us into the new game too, G Money.
Right. I do agree with you. We gotta limit turnovers. We gotta stop having these big. Every time we have these big leads, we tend to take jump shots for some reason. We gotta learn to share the ball and penetrate and cut. And when we got these big leads, we can't keep joking around. Even though Scotty Barnes won't play tonight, by the way, for the Raptors, he won't play. So we gotta be careful tonight. All right. This is a game that Fred VanVleet can have a big game. I know they don't have Spicy P because he's hurt, but this is a big game that Fred VanVleet or even OG Anunoby. We gotta watch out for them. So we gotta watch out for those guys. I do think it's gonna be a close game. I have a weird feeling it's gonna be a close game.
Yeah.
I do think we'll beat the Raptors, but I would not be surprised if we lost tonight. But I do think we'll beat Toronto tonight. I think it'll be close. because I just think New York is just deeper than Toronto and have better coaching. Well, better coach is subjective because Nick Nurse won a championship in his first year as a head coach. So it's subjective. But what we had to do against the Raptors, watch out for the 3-point shooters, clog the paint, and also don't foul. The Raptors can hit free throws. Don't foul too much. And don't play a dirty type game. You gotta score above the hundreds. Don't be in the 90s though. The Raptors, if they keep you in the 90s, they can win this game. So I think that you can just do more driving kick, find the open man. This is a game right here. Do not be surprised if this is a game that Obi or Quigley have a big game. Do not be surprised. So I think we'll win this game, but I think it'll be very close. So with that, I would do a behind the back to my man Dream.
Nice. And I'm left hand to the right crossover and free throw finger roll on these guys. George Gervin, baby. So Barnes is a big deal to me. I had him down as him and Anunoby as definitely players to watch, that key matchups in the game against Barrett and Randall. That was some of my biggest matchups. But you're saying Barnes is going to be out. That may change my outcome and my prediction for the game in general. To be perfectly honest, I was aside at the end, but because they do come in. Not really scoring that much. They're 22nd in the league right now. They're like 104 a game or something like that, And right now, even though it's early in the season, we're second in the league. We're pumping out about 117, so that fluctuates for us because, as long as we get in the teams, the 100 teams, then we're doing okay. It's just our defense needs to hold against them. So Barnes is the guy who affects a lot of the offense because he passes, he rebounds, the offensive rebounds, and he does score at the same time. So that's a big key for me. I think we just play our advantage, and our advantage right now is the 3-point line, the 3-point makes, especially because basically we're shooting at 40%, and they're shooting at 10. Basically they're making 10 a game, and we're making 16 a game, 16 or 17 a game. So we just need to play that advantage and then keep the defense producing and each game come out, play strong. Guys like Mitch play strong down low, get the rest of our guys, our guards are always going to suffer a little bit on the defensive end because especially guys that like to penetrate. So Van Fleet and whatchamacallit, Gary Trent. I'm not sure, is he playing? He should be playing, right? He's another guy who's kind of scrappy, a scrappy player who could put up, decent points and stuff like that. They have like 4 or 5 guys who will definitely score in double figures, and I think a guy even coming off the bench that scores in double figures. But they score high-end teams, like 17 to 20, somewhere around there, those 3 guys. And Barnes was one of them, but so, not having him is a big thing. Defensively, they're holding guys under 100 games, so we need to watch out for that. Don't fall into that trap. Make sure we run our offense well and stay productive, as far as what we're trying to do. And that's it. The bench needs to wake up this year. Last year, that was a big advantage for us, game after game. Right now, they're breaking even. They haven't really lost that many matchups, bench to bench matchup. But they have some guys I don't really want to hear from. I don't want to hear from this new kid, Bantone, I think his name is pronounced. And I definitely don't want to hear anything from Boucher. If Boucher is getting off, we're having an issue. Okay, that's an issue for me. And then, like you said, a little bit of Toppin, a little bit of Quickly off the bench, getting loose, getting free finally on their offensive end would be very nice to see. I'll come back with a score. I'll toss it back to you because I think Esquire took a TO timeout, 30 seconds, so he might be back. But go ahead, take it away.
Yeah, like you said, we gotta watch out for the Raptors bench, and also we just got, like I said, watch out for the shooters. The Raptors can't hit threes though. Yeah. And the Raptors are a team that are young and getting the transition. I know Toronto's not a great offensive team, like you said, but Toronto, if you look at the Raptors now compared to last year, Toronto didn't execute in close games last year. They've been better of it so far this year. So we just got to watch out for that. And Thibs has to outcoach Nick Nurse and utilize his bench, utilize his rotations well. This is a game in which I think Evan Fournier can have a big game. Evan Fournier might have a big game tonight. I have a weird feeling like he can get tonight. So because he is kind of streaky sometimes, but Evan Fournier can get how he wants to. So I think it's a big game for him. I don't think RG has good of a game as he did against the Pels, but I do think it'll be productive. I do believe it will be a close game because usually when New York and Toronto play, it usually comes down to the wire. I just have a weird feeling it'll be a close game because Toronto scraps, New York has more depth, but Toronto has more athleticism. But I think New York will pull this out because I just think that We just have better depth. And losing Scotty Barnes, I think the Raptors will miss him in this game. I think it'll miss Scotty Barnes in this game. So I think that the Knicks will win, but it will not be easy.
Yeah. Okay, it's not bad. So I'll take it one more time, and then we'll go back for scores. So I agree that Barnes thing is probably the biggest thing, especially because I think we played them like in summer league or something like that. We got like our first look against them, and he actually was pretty productive in that game. I don't think he scored a whole bunch of points, but he was, like I said, he's always effective. He affects the game in so many different aspects. So, like I said, for me, I kind of do think now I'm going to flip. I'm going to use the same score. I'm just going to flip who wins the game, and I think I will go towards the Knicks this time. But Robinson overall, I need more blocks out of him. He is playing stronger, but I need more blocks. There's no way that Lonzo Ball and C.J. McCollum should have more average blocks per game than Mitchell Robinson. Okay, that's a problem. So outside of that, though, like I said, ultimately, everybody is showing up to play. Like you said, Fournier and Walker, man, so far, makes per game, 4th and 5th in the league. What else could we ask for? You know what I'm saying? Outside of that, I mean, you really can't complain too much. And all of this is happening, and the team is still transitioning and gelling, ultimately, right? Like, we're still trying to figure things out. Randall's still having games where he's like 10 one game, 20 another game, things like that. Barrett just gave us the best game he's ever had in a uniform. So, we're feeling good about ourselves, even though we clearly see things that can be cleaned up, I'll say, and we expect our team to clean those things up. We've been slowly trickling down. That defensive points per game number has been coming down ever since the Boston 2 overtime. We gave up the 134. We've been knocking a little bit off of that and making our defensive number look a little bit better over time. And I expect that to continue, especially in a game like tonight. It should be low 100s. It shouldn't be no high 100s type of game. So take advantage of that and let's swing it in our court. Outside of that, I think I'm good. As far as everything else, I think I touched up all the little points I wanted to make. I'm not sure if you have anything more to say, but I will drop my score right now. So originally, like I said, with Barnes in, I thought it was going to be a tight game, and I thought the Knicks might actually find a way to lose this 112 to 108. But since you gave me that revelation, I think I'm just going to flip the teams who have those same score, 112, 108, but Knicks instead of the Toronto winning. So I thank you for that information because I'll be watching. And you can take us out of here, man.
For me, I got New York 105-97. I have a feeling because here's why I say that. The Raptors do defend. Both teams could defend. But like I said, I just think Toronto's kind of a streaky offensive team a little bit. Same thing with us, too. I don't think it's going to be super high scoring, but I do think it's going to be a very grinded out type game. And I believe at home we can fit out the crowd. We should beat this team tonight. I know that the Raptors are a tough team, but Toronto, this isn't Toronto 2 years ago, 3 years ago, so we should win this game tonight. We should just take one game at a time. We have Indiana, too. We should win that game. Indiana, I understand the Pacers play hard, but they're bad. They're 1-6 right now.
Yeah.
Milwaukee, I think we might lose to the Bucks. I think at Milwaukee, I have a weird feeling to lose to Milwaukee. I know the Bucks are struggling right now due to the fact they don't have Drew Holiday, they don't have Brooke Lopez, Bobby Portis just came back. I understand, and Chris Middleton got sick, and I understand that the Bucks are struggling, but I think they'll find their stride, I should say. So I do believe we'll beat Toronto. I'm going to say New York 105, Toronto 97. I think it'll be a close game. Because, like I said, when these two teams play, it usually comes down to the wire. But the fact that they don't have Pascal Siakam and Scotty Barnes, I think it's going to hurt the Raptors' offense, though, tonight. And I think the Knicks, I just think that we're just a deeper team than the Raptors.
No, yeah. Ultimately, I do agree. Regardless of the two starting fives matching up, I think our bench, which should definitely come in and be an advantage for us. Hold on, I'm adding somebody else in here. And they should definitely be an advantage for us. And both these teams coming off 3-game winning streaks. The difference is we coming off stronger competition, which is the same thing that was going into Chicago game. Both teams were coming off, streaks basically. We had lost one, but Chicago came in undefeated. But the level competition that each team played going into that, I think benefited us in the end because we came over playing Philadelphia and Boston and stuff like that. So ultimately, this is another opportunity for us to take another division win. we need to keep stacking up wins in the division also. So we got our Philadelphia, we got the Boston, Toronto. Let's stack this one also, right? They're in our division, right? Okay,
right,
so
right. Is that
so
is that H2O at the Big Apple?
Oh yeah. Oh, they're in the garden. H2O and Santana's in the house tonight. They over there in the garden. There they go. Look, salute. You want to say anything for us real quick while you're there on site?
What's up?
You want to say you live? Go ahead.
The national anthem back there, man.
Oh, okay, nice. You got a score for us tonight before you head out and start watching?
I think it's gonna be 120 to 98.
Whoa,
oh my God, we got super blowout, huh?
I'll be happy.
Yeah, I believe in blowouts tonight, man. Another big game for Barry.
Okay.
Another big game. I just got his shirt too.
Nice. Show it to us. Come on, give us some.
Come on, show it. How much was the shirt?
Let me see if I find it.
How many did you buy? You should only have one.
Well, I brought my own, and then I bought.
Awesome.
Okay.
That's awesome. I just want to ask you
a random question.
True. This relates to this. I know it's early, but what NBA Finals do you want to see?
What NBA Finals do I want to see? I mean, I'm always going to love seeing the Knicks Finals. You already know that, you know? Yeah. What do I want to see? I want to see probably Milwaukee. Hold on, Papa. I want to see Milwaukee. You got to go that way, Papa. All right. Yeah, Milwaukee. I would take actually. I don't know that I want to see the Lakers back in there.
You want to see your Suns Bucks rematch?
Maybe, depending on what the Suns do at the trade deadline, if they can add somebody else, you know what I'm saying? Because if I see that rematch, then is that going to be the same thing? That plus DiVincenzo, they were, the Bucks were missing a little bit last year too. That they're going to have back. So even though they're not going to have Tucker this year, and I think he was the big, a big portion for that, for that team and what they were trying to do towards the end. I don't know. I'm not sure. I think probably it's too early. I'm just enjoying watching teams. I have fun teams I like to watch. Memphis is a team I like to watch, but do I think they're going to be pushing through to get that far? I don't think so, But and the same thing with Golden State. I don't think Golden State is complete yet enough.
Yeah, me too. I just think people are jumping the gun way too much.
Because we don't get to the seat, man. I'll be back.
All right, sure. The Warriors have talent, but I have to see how Klay Thompson looks from injury. Also, we have to understand this. Yes, Steph, Draymond, Iggy have been there before, but Jordan Poole's not experienced.
Yeah.
Damian Lee's not experienced. James Wiseman's not experienced. Wiggins is good but inconsistent sometimes. Otto Porter's not that much experience in the playoffs. I just think that people are like, oh my God, the Warriors are this and that. We gotta relax though. Let them be healthy first, and let's see how some of these other guys look. Millions of why. I have a bold prediction. I'm a Knicks fan. My bold prediction, I got the Suns coming out the West again. If they're healthy. I have a weird feeling they come out the West because here's why. I know Chris Paul's getting old. I understand that. But they still has some sort of depth. But I do agree with you, Dream, that they need another piece or two. MSG, that's great. And also, I think the Suns have the best chance in the West to win the West because I just think they have the finals experience now. And I know they've been on a slow start to 2-3, but I just think that with the good coaching of Monty Williams, Devin Booker will start to find his niche, DeAndre Ayton. I just think they'll learn from last year. And I look at the West. I don't trust the Utah Jazz. The Jazz are frauds to me. The Denver Nuggets, they can score, but here's what we need to understand. We don't know how Jamal Murray's going to look from injury. And yes, the Joker will do his thing, but if he doesn't play well, I got to trust Michael Porter in the playoffs.
Yo, you watching? I'm going to put it on for you again.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm watching. I'm watching. I'm just telling you my prediction. And the Lakers, they have a good team with Westbrook, LeBron, AD. It needs to gel. It needs to gel. So again, I know you may disagree with me on this, but I have a feeling that the Phoenix Suns, to me, will win the Western Conference. As far as them win the title, I don't know. I don't know if they'll win the title, but I do think this team has the best chance to win the West if they can stay healthy.
Yeah, and any team that needs to be considered for that should be finishing top 10 offense and defense because that's what the real teams at last year. They're top 5 in both right now. But I'm saying any team like that by the end of the season should get consideration needs to fall in that for serious consideration, and that's why I want the Knicks to push their defensive numbers into that top 10 so that we could really look at ourselves as a team that can score on the offensive end and shut people down on the defensive end. And that's the key. That's the formula in the playoffs, So that being said, these guys are rocking. They're about to get their game started in about a minute or two.
Yeah.
Do you want to take us out of here?
Yeah, I'll make this quick one before we have to watch the game.
All right.
Nice seeing you again, Dream. Have fun in the game. Have fun in the game, H2O. Hopefully we win tonight. It will be I know H2O thinks it's gonna be a beatdown. I think it's gonna be a close game.
It'll be a close one.
I just have a weird feeling because usually, like I said, when these two teams play each other, it comes down to the wire. Hopefully we don't get that. I'll be happy if we win the block.
Agreed.
If you're the Knicks, just play your game, share the ball, attack, don't get into foul trouble, and just, play ball. And with Fibs, just make the right adjustments that you've been doing all year. And go New York, go.
Go New York, go New York, go, like we always do about this time. Thanks for coming out. I appreciate all your analytics on the Knicks tonight. Basically, like you said, it's going to be a tight game, but hopefully they pull this out. We said no Scotty Barnes. That was the key. So, as we always do about this time, once the Knicks,
always
the Knicks. And thanks for coming out, boys. I'll talk to you later.
All right, man. See you later.